Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another podcast. My second one today. I suppose we'll have four on, but one was taking ill, Kerry, who does all the pet bereavement, and then Rick, who deals with like 60s music and stuff like that. So tonight, all I got left is now is Emily. Mm. So Emily Rowland, she's really, really, really good. I watch her podcast all the time, but don't tell her that she get big headed out. Anyway,
I
I
love it.
we were talking before while we were waiting to come on, talking about relaxing. Because after a busy day, some of us are probably working or having the children around or whatever's going on. And the trouble is, we need to relax, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah. Steve, you were asking me how I was doing, and I was like, you know what? I'm actually kind of exhausted. And I've been thinking a lot about it today and yesterday, actually, because for those of you that don't know, I just spent about 3 months launching my new book. And it took a lot of energy, effort, time, creativity, just all these different things, and it was really, really fun. I try not to do things unless they're super fun, unless I'm enjoying them, but still I was feeling tired. And so it's so interesting, is because what I teach is and advocate for is, pausing, being in the moment, self-care by resting, relaxing, and all these types of things, right?
Uh,
And I was taking a little bit of a break, not from like other life things, but I wasn't on social media as much, and I wasn't on Clubhouse as much, and I'm really only doing your podcast right now on Tuesdays, for the last couple weeks. And I thought to myself yesterday, I started to wonder, why do I still feel so tired? Why am I not able to, feel rejuvenated, replenished, and this type of thing? Because for me, it's all about what I call energy management. So 5 years ago, I worked myself into complete exhaustion, and I wasn't able to get out of bed for about 6 months because I had no energy. My body wasn't generating the energy. And actually, I found out that I didn't have the hormones anymore, which were the hormones that wake you up in the morning, which is cortisol, that gives you the energy. So, like, those parts of my body were kind of breaking down. And so I became really fascinated with what things can I do that will make me feel or give me energy again. And for many of us in um, like modern society, we don't give ourselves the downtime, right? So we don't take a break. We just keep going. And last week I talked about functioning with like a tank of petrol that's almost empty or empty, and we're still trying to drive the car. And so all of that is geared towards energy. And so I've really been thinking about it in the past couple of days, because I was thinking, when you asked me, Steve, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm kind of tired. Like, I just can't seem to not feel really tired. And this is like sleeping okay and all that type of thing. So there's an energetic thing going on for me. And what I remembered, I really try when I'm doing my videos and doing my podcast to be really real with everyone, and to be like, no, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to teach from my own experience. So what I found was, even though I had allowed myself to like step back a little bit from my social media postings and from Clubhouse and from these things that I'm doing to put myself out into the world, even though I gave myself permission to not do those things, I still felt like I should be doing them.
right. Okay.
So that was the piece that I realized yesterday and today was, it's really important, first of all, that we recognize that we need a little break, right? And then that we give ourselves the break, whatever that is, and for however long. But there is a really, really important piece that we can miss, and that I missed this time around, was that I felt like I shouldn't be taking the break and that I should be doing other things. And the really interesting thing that happens energetically, if we're taking a break, but we're feeling like we should be working, that we actually cannot restore our energy because we don't allow it. Does that make sense? Because we're like, I shouldn't be taking this break. I should be doing X, Y, Z. And that's an old pattern of mine that just came up again. And so it's really kind of fascinating for me that, like, in real time, like today, I'm exploring this and going, I really need to be gentle with myself and relax and allow myself a true break.
Right. You talk about in your book, and to me, you talk about being in the moment all the time. Okay. Now that is until I met you. I think I was thinking, well, being in the moment is just kind of like being in the moment and just getting on with things. But then I was thinking, no, it's more than this, because being in the moment and being relaxing, it can kind of take away all the negative thoughts, can it? Really?
Oh yeah, and actually I love that you just brought that up, because that really plays into and weaves into what I just was sharing. Was I was thinking that I was in the moment. And just to give a little review of what that is if we can connect to right now, this second that's happening right now, this is where our body is. This is where our heart beats are. This is where we breathe. This is where we think thoughts. This is where we feel our emotions. This is where we only ever actually are, physically, in every way, really. It's just that our brains, sometimes our thoughts think that we're somewhere else. And so that's exactly what has been happening to me the past couple of days, is that I'm trying to be in present moment, but my brain is saying and my thoughts are saying, well, actually, Emilie, you need to be doing X, Y, and Z right now. You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. And so while I'm saying to myself, and my practice is, okay, I'm going to sit and breathe and take a break, I was allowing my thoughts to be like, no, we're over here wanting to do these 50 things. Because, like, my mother-in-law is coming to visit. And so, I'm like thinking, oh, I want to get the house nice and all that stuff, right? Like, I want to do all these things.
You get over your mother-in-law.
Yeah. We okay. So here's the thing. So, Arthur and I have been married for almost 30 years, and we've been together for 33 years. So for the first few years, we did not really get along very much. So, but now we have a good relationship, and actually, she's my travel buddy. We travel together, and we just went to Iceland a couple years ago before COVID, and we plan to go on another trip. So yeah, we get along really well. But you have a house guest coming, so you want to get your house ready and everything. So I'm coming off of my book launch, trying to relax and restore myself so that I feel like I have the energy and I'm able to do the fun things we want to do while his mom is here. But at the same time, I'm not actually allowing myself to be in present moment, because my brain, my thoughts, like you said, Steve, my thoughts are somewhere else telling me I need to be doing this, that, and the other thing. And that actually doesn't allow me to rest and restore myself, because my brain is over here and it's frantic. And so it's depleting my energy. Just my thoughts are.
Yeah, I know. I had my dad down here for a week, and he'd just come out of hospital and stuff. And the trouble is, he's about 88 now, I think. And the trouble is with him, it's you always got to kind of like keep an eye on him, and he wanted to go up the shop, he wanted to do everything else, and he wanted to get out. The other day was lawn mowing somebody's grass. I was looking on the video today. So, and the trouble is, sometimes you can't. if you started worrying about people, you can't relax. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that worry. So worry,
Yeah.
any kind of worry, puts you like we were talking about. So your body is here, everything is here. If you're worrying, you're worrying about a future event that hasn't happened yet. And usually when we are thinking about a future event and we're worrying, we're not meaning to, but we kind of are thinking about like the worst case scenarios. Like oh, this could happen, that could happen, and we're living that event over and over again before it even happens, and that takes a massive amount of energy just
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
cope
Yeah.
with the, like, what if this happens, what if that happens, and we're living it over and over and over again. Maybe we're living that event or worrying about this or that happening like 50 times. That takes a lot of energy of, and that's worrying.
Yeah. Yeah. The trouble is, you see, I remember when I had a worst mother-in-law ever. Right.
Oh
Not
dear.
right. And the trouble is, I could not get on with her.
Yeah.
She was she was posh. She was strict, and I used to go for Christmas dinner, and I remember times when she said, "No elbows on the table, please." And when someone leaves the table, you got to ask. And I was thinking, I'm not in Disneyland, or I'm not a child, you
Right,
know.
you're not 2 years old.
Yeah, I'm not 2 years old. And it was like, and you, if you had soup or whatever, for like a starter type thing, it was like, could you take sips? Can you use the spoon properly? Oh, it was really crazy.
Oh.
And every Christmas came along, I could not relax for Christmas,
Mm-mm.
because we had to get the Christmas presents for everybody. Then all of a sudden, ding dong, we're going to my mum's for Christmas Eve. I don't think so. You know,
Oh.
so,
So
and
so did you go? Did you always go, or did you sometimes not go?
well, I had to go, but sometimes some Christmases I thought, well, no, it's all right, I'll stay at home, you know. Um,
Yeah. Well, it's actually really interesting that you bring up Christmas because I actually haven't talked about this, but for many years, and I loved Christmas, and I still do, but I would get so stressed out about Christmas, for different reasons too, like the gifts and everything. But then also, like, it sounds like, you had this thing where you didn't want to go and be in this place and be like really stressed out, because you couldn't be yourself and you couldn't relax.
mm, mm,
And so for me, I put so much pressure on myself about Christmas, and this was years ago, that I would have what I would call my Christmas breakdown. And sometimes, like my mother-in-law would come to visit at Christmas, and then I had kids at home at the time, so I was getting all the presents for them and then getting the food and doing all the things, and at the Christmas parties and all this stuff. And I would work myself into a breakdown, an emotional breakdown, uh, where I just would, what I would say, I would flip out. Like I would just get mad and I would cry, and because that's usually how I deal with things, is I would cry, but I would get mad first, and then I'd be like, no one's helping me. Like no one would help me do the Christmas shopping. No one would help me wrap the presents. Just like all the things. And
yeah,
this went on for quite. I mean, this went on for years, honestly. And I really loved Christmas, but I was ruining Christmas for myself, or I was allowing Christmas to be ruined, just because of my thoughts and the demands I was putting on myself and everything. So, what I decided to start doing was changing Christmas for myself, and I started to say, what is important for me about Christmas? What are the things that I care about, that are important to me, that I want to do? And one of the first things that I did was I stopped buying presents, because the present buying was really stressing me out, and all the demands of that, and the present wrapping and everything. And for some people, they love buying gifts. They love it. Like it's their favorite thing, and they love buying gifts, and they love wrapping the gifts, and they love all the stuff. Fine, they can do it. I didn't want to. And I told the kids, and I told everyone, Arthur, the kids, and my parents, I'm like, I'm not buying gifts. Don't buy me a gift. You can if you want to, but I'm not buying you a gift. And that was like the first step. And then from there, I went to, and that actually felt a lot better. And then instead of the gifts, what we would do with the kids, we would say, what is something we can do together? Like an activity that we can do that's fun together. So maybe we would go out skiing, or maybe we would just go for a nice dinner or whatever, instead of the present. And so we decided to have time together, like creating a memory rather than having the pressure of having the presents. And at first, the kids weren't loving it, because they wanted the presents. but now we're kind of used to it. And then the other thing was that there were certain years that I didn't feel like I wanted to prepare like the whole Christmas dinner and do the whole thing. So we decided to do something different. So instead of saying, okay, this is what we always do, this is our tradition and all this type of thing, I would mix it up. And that's why I asked you, like, if you went to your mother-in-law's, because if I had been in your situation, I would have said, like, you know what, I don't want to go. And maybe your wife would be upset, maybe your mother-in-law would be upset. Oh well, I would do my best to explain, this is what I'm going to do. And this year, actually, I decided I wanted to do something completely different. So we're actually going to just travel on Christmas, and just not feel the pressure to do the regular expectations of things. And that's okay sometimes to do those things, especially if they have value to you and you value the traditions and you value all those things. But if they are making you not well, like for me, if you're getting that sick, then it's okay to find another way to do the thing and to ask questions about it and to wonder. And now I love Christmas because now we're just together and there's no pressure.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But I don't like. I do not, do not like Christmas now.
See, I know it can ruin Christmas for you if you have all this pressure on yourself.
That's it.
Totally.
Yeah. Before I carry on, I'd like to say hello to my daughter Sarah. I know you're watching.
Hi, Sarah.
She's kind of like saying, "Can you say hello to me?" I've just done it. Hello,
Awesome.
hello. Yeah, but the trouble is, I never used to. When I was a boy, and well, when I was little, and in nappies and whatever, until I was around about 8 years old. Yes, I did believe in Santa, and I enjoyed it. But I think when you get older, right, Christmas is like, oh well, hurry up. What time is it? Oh yeah. You know what I mean? We will have Christmas dinner and things like that.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, I'll be glad when it's over done with.
Right. Yeah, and I think that many people feel that way. And I've actually had this conversation. I know it's like the middle of July and we're talking about Christmas, but actually this is a great time to think about Christmas because there isn't the pressure yet of Christmas. So you could be really mindful about Christmas and decide, what parts of Christmas are really important to me. And, or maybe you decide, I really don't care about Christmas, but you might be like, I like this thing, I like that thing. Like there's certain Christmas movies that I love to watch. I want to go out I want to go out on nature walks with my family. I want to spend time with them. We like to go, look at Christmas lights on houses. We like to go out and cut down our own Christmas tree. Um, and we make it a big thing. So rather than just having this expectation and pressure, well, we should do this, we need to do this. like going back to Steve as an 8-year-old, and like, what did 8-year-old Steve like about Christmas, and is there a way that you could have that again?
Well, I
Like,
don't know because Christmas to me was like I really enjoyed it. I like opening Christmas presents. I
yeah,
like the family getting around together.
yeah,
I liked everything. But the trouble is, when I got older, and I found out one day there was no Santa Claus. When a young man is like looking at the window for around about 4 hours, and
oh,
there's no Santa coming, and you're thinking, what a daft person. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, and there's a way, I mean, I there's a way to still have the magic of Christmas, whether or not there's Santa or not. And that's what I've been trying to do is the last few years is how can I capture the magic of Christmas at the same time not being stressed, and like, because we're talking today about relaxation, how can I capture the magic of Christmas and be relaxed and enjoy it even for myself, where before I was the one that was like putting on all of Christmas. I was doing all the cooking, I was buying all the presents, I was doing all the things. And and there are these simple ways that you can grab the magic of Christmas, which is, being together, enjoying each other, drinking hot chocolate, sitting in front of a fire, like I said, like cutting down a Christmas tree, all these really simple things. If you take a step back and are, like I said, really mindful about it, you can make it a relaxing time. It doesn't have to be like you're dreading going to your mother-in-law's, or you're dreading doing this thing, or you're dreading going to this Christmas party, or you're dreading buying the Christmas present. So I think it's really interesting that we're talking about it today in July, but then also just with the backdrop of relaxation, because for me that was the most stressful time of the year, was Christmas. And and so I've had to reframe it over the past few years and make it a new thing. And it's not at all what it used to look like for me. And now my family is on board, and now everybody's like, cool, they get what we're doing. Um, and it's actually, like, playing games, like just playing a card game, or playing a board game, or just being together. So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting that you were sharing that about dreading, going to Christmas dinner, because I totally relate to that. I totally related to that.
Yeah, I never used to get on with my mother-in-law. No way. I used to get on with my father-in-law, but my
Yeah,
mother-in-law was a right old.
sounds like
Um,
it's kind of hard to get along with her, actually.
it was, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It was, but it was because I've been married a couple of times, and I'll tell you off air someday. You probably, or I'll send you my story over, then you know probably a bit better me.
yeah, that'd
But
be great.
but the trouble is, Lucy, I remember one time when I got married to it was my first marriage, and we were coming back from said about Christmas. We were coming back from holiday, and my partner was expecting a baby and everything. I forgot. Just come off a flight from Chris, going down the A38, the motorway, back down to Plymouth where I live in the UK. And the car turned over because she was, pregnant and everything. And the trouble is, so I just kind of like, and that was Christmas time.
Oh,
And for me, that was really, 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 really bad.
oh,
It's
that
like
sounds,
it's like
yeah.
your noise. It's like the noise,
That
thunder.
was that was a huge clap of thunder.
Gosh,
It shook the house.
it shook the house.
Yep, like the windows kind of.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
we're living on a lake, and so the thunderstorms can get pretty bad.
Oh no! Oh gosh!
So
God,
interesting.
if you
It's
see,
only when I talk to you, Steve.
That's a bit nasty. That's that's a bit nasty. When we first met, it was like you don't spell my name right, and now you're having to go at me because it's windy and the
Yeah,
storms out there.
yeah. It's not too bad right now, but you might be able to hear some thunder. But I love the idea of having people, if they do get stressed out, if any of you get stressed out about Christmas, because it is July, you have time to really think about like what pieces of Christmas are really important to you and how you can have those things and not have like the stress and the expectations.
Well, I've got something planned. Number one, I can't have my mother-in-law come in
Yeah.
because my mother-in-law has passed away.
Oh, okay.
So that's one. I can't have my father-in-law come in. I'm talking about Michelle's parents because he passed away. All I've got is my father. My mum died several years ago, so that's it. So really, I'm okay with my present, my present partner.
Yeah.
So I think. But the trouble is, we have Christmases, we have good Christmases.
Yeah. Christmas
Um,
is good.
yeah, yeah. But this year I'm doing something different. I've got something planned for Christmas. Because my wedding anniversary is on my birthday.
When's your birthday?
Well, my birthday is the 6th of December.
Oh, okay.
So I said to when I said to my wife now, I said, I tell you what, we've got to get married on the 6th. And she turned around to me. She said, "Is that your birthday, Steve?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Why do you want it on the 6th?" So I don't forget my anniversary.
Hey, that's pretty smart.
Well, you've got to think it up there. And but no, I think we have. Um, I think yeah, I think we always Christmas time. Now we celebrate it more because I go to church and everything. And
Yeah.
I believe in God and everything. But sometimes, family to me, I love seeing family, and I love family to be around. But sometimes you like to see them go for a little while. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not being
totally.
horrible, but just having chill out time and get back to what we was talking about, relaxing. Just to
Yep.
chill out and to relax and everything. You know what I mean?
I do know, and that's actually another piece of it too for me was really deciding, how much time did I want to spend with larger group of family, and then how much time did I want to just spend with my own little family, and
Mm,
really making that clear too. So like you said, you enjoy being with your family, but at the same time you also just want to like be like you and your wife, or like you and your kids or whatever.
mm,
And just deciding for yourself what does that look like, because there were a couple of years where like I actually didn't have my extended family over for like Christmas Eve, where I said, I just want it to be like me and my kids. And so just making those decisions, and it's okay to make those decisions. And if you communicate clearly why you're doing the thing and somebody else maybe is upset by that, that's for them to figure out. You're not
yeah,
doing
yeah,
it to
yeah.
hurt them, but
How
it's
how
it's
old
their
is
responsibility to figure that out.
how old is your children now?
My children now are 28 and 25.
25. And
Yeah.
are they in relationships now?
um I don't, I mean, I would say so, yeah, like casual relationships, yeah, not like
Yeah,
super
yeah,
serious, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So if one of them came back to you today and they went, "Mum, I'm getting married,"
Yeah.
right? And you go, "Hang on a second, I don't like him,"
Oh.
or you know, what do you think they would say?
Well, yeah, I would be honest. Probably like because neither one of them are like super serious right now in their relationships, as far as I know. So, but if they were, I would have been pretty honest, like along the way, just like, hey, think, consider this thing, consider that thing. But ultimately, I mean, because my kids are 28 and 25, they're adults, and so for the most part, they're I just let them make the decisions that they're going to make.
Mm.
Obviously, if they were doing something that was really harmful to themselves, um, doing something that I thought was not healthy in a, something like addiction or something, I would say something and I would get involved. But other than that, if it's just they're making their own decisions and they're living their own life as an adult.
Mm. Do they still live at home, or do they? Have they
Nope,
got their own?
they don't live with us. They live on their own. Yeah.
Well, there you go. I remember when I left home when I was 16 years old. I lived in
Oh,
a
that's young.
I lived in a bedsit, and you know, and and I had to get a job, and I had to learn about life so quick. It was unbelievable. I had to leave home because there's a lot of things happening at home, and I couldn't stay in that house no longer. So I
Right.
just left. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean,
um,
well, that was really brave of you, and I can't imagine. I mean, you probably did have to grow up so fast and learn so much so fast.
the trouble is, it was just abuse and everything. When
Oh yeah.
someone used to come home drinking a lot, and you used to get it for nothing, and it took it out of you.
Well, that's
So
amazing. I mean, the fact that you knew at that time and you made that decision to take yourself out of an unsafe place, and that's, I mean, that's the ultimate self-care.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's not easy, but it's amazing that you did that.
yeah, yeah. It was, yeah. Um, Also about self care. I was talking to somebody yesterday about self care. Um, how can we, with self care, relaxing, and everything else, put it in one kind of like one bundle? How can that help us today in our daily kind of like living? How can we do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would go back to what I said earlier about energy management, because I believe that we have a certain amount of energy. And if you look at it like a petrol tank full of energy, full of gas, or full of petrol, the petrol is your energy. If you don't have anything in your tank, then you can't do the things that you want to do, that you need to do, all those things. And so, unless you can step back and refuel, replenish yourself, then you're not going to have what it takes to do the things that are required of you in your life and that you want to do in your life. So for me, I didn't even have the energy to do what I needed to do, I was required to do, let alone the things that I wanted to do, like write a book and have these amazing conversations with people like you and reach people all around the world. And the only way that I was able to do that is by pausing and breathing and allowing myself truly to be in a restful state, even if it was just for a few minutes. It
Right.
doesn't have
Okay.
to be an hour, it can just be for a few minutes, but you can feel it. Like you can feel when your body is saying, I'm exhausted, I need a break. And
Mm-hmm.
very often we don't hear that, we don't listen, we don't listen to our body, and we don't do the thing. And so I'm just encouraging people, if you're feeling that way, it is your body telling you something, and it's really important to listen and to do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're getting some questions here, and they said, Steve, would it be your videos out to so many people in the past? Can you show your video again? Really, not really, because I'm talking to Emily at the moment. But well, I could show it for around about a couple of. Is that right? If I could show them the video for about 2 minutes?
Of course, I would
Yeah,
love it.
yeah. Okay, so I will show you the video for a few minutes. I might have to skip it on a bit if it comes to the crunch. Okay, so can you imagine people that I want to put you in the picture? So this is somebody me who's in a predicament with health issues and everything. Most of you know about me, and this is what happened. And the trouble is, with life, you never give up anything. And it's like what we've been talking about. Sometimes we need to be in the moment. We need to be kind of like relaxing and everything like that. But also, we need to be true to ourselves. So this is a bit of a video, and I hope you enjoy it. There you go. How about that?
Yeah, that's amazing. It's amazing that you're sharing your story and you're putting yourself out there and you're telling people to never give up and to always be kind. It's just so moving and so powerful.
Yeah, yeah. The trouble is with life, though, life can kind of like be horrible,
Hmm.
and it can be so horrible, and the trouble is, what you've got to realize first is that you need to forgive people, whatever they've done to you in your life. You need to forgive them, so you can kind of like move on in
You can
life.
move on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they don't forgive you. That's not your problem because
Nope.
you've already did your problem. And what I like talking about you each week, talking with you each week is this: that when you keep saying about being in the moment and doing different things and about relaxing today's title, you kind of like bring it back to me, bring it home to me, and it hits me here in my heart because we all need to be in that moment where we can kind of like start thinking about our lives, start thinking about ourselves and everything. Because at the end of the day, a friend of mine said to me a while back, he said, Steve, you'd be lucky to have 5 real friends in life. He said, you'd be lucky to have 5 real friends in life. If you work it out, he was talking sense,
Hmm.
and because all your friends at the end of the day, they people, how many friends would be there for you if things were going really bad for you?
Right. Only a couple. Only a few.
Well, there you go. So I think being in the moment, being relaxed and things like that. I've read all your stuff. I've read all your blogs. I've read all what you do and everything, and how you helping people. You are kind of like an inspiration to everybody that's out there with your books and everything. And that's why I asked you to come on here because all I want to do, all I want to do is help people who's been in the same situation. Last year, last July, my wife would tell you, I would never have done this. All right, I've done around about what I don't know, about 700 now shows and everything,
Oh my gosh.
and I would never ever I would never ever done this. Okay, I've done TV and all that lot, but I would never ever done this. And I'm telling you, lots of people's come on and talked and everything, and we get big followings and things. But it's not about the following; it's about how many people we touch. And
Mm.
if we can touch one person's life, then that's like to me that's gold dust. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. I do. Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
I feel too. It's like if one person can understand that they don't need to suffer anymore, that there was another way. Like you said, just never give up.
Mm.
If there can be hope, right? If you can give one person just a spark of hope that things could be different, that they could feel better, then it's worth
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's all worth it.
Do you know what? I had somebody before I got to tell you the story. This is because I love the story. This has happened to me. I was interviewing somebody from Canada, um, a place called oh gosh, um, I can't remember where it was, but anyway. So, and I was interviewing her, and we were talking about a different topic. It meant to be right. Then I said something about about abuse, mentioned about abuse. Oh, I know that song. That was on a abuse advert or something. And she kind of said, "Stop." She says, "I want to ask you a favor. I want to use this platform to get my message out there." And I said, "You carry on. I'm listening." And as she was talking, she was in tears, bowling in tears. All the tears are coming down to her eyes. And I said, "What's the problem?" And she said, "Steve, for a long time, I've bad relationships and everything. I was beaten up. abused, whatever. And the trouble is, I, I now can release myself because of this burden by coming on here and getting an opportunity to say what I feel. I don't want to hold it back. And do you know what? I remember, right, I think it was like we had a lot of people. We're lucky because we had a counsellor on board. We got a counsellor on board. So if anybody, we just direct them to our counsellor. That counsellor must have had around about 20 odd
Wow.
messages that night. And she was, and I said, I'm sorry how it happened, but she said, don't worry about it. We're trying to help people, and that was it. So being in the moment, and also about being, being relaxed, about relaxing, it's a big deal, isn't it? Really, because we need to do that.
Yeah, it gives you the access to the hope, and it gives you the ability to not give up, which is so important for what you're trying to do with your podcast. It gives you the ability to do those things.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
first step.
yeah. That's it. I'm going to let you go. Thank you
Okay,
very much for joining me because I think you are a wonderful person, and
thanks.
have a good day over there. I hope the next time we talk, your house will be still be standing.
Me too.
All right. And if you get any guests or anything over there, make sure you look after them. Chain them down. You know,
Yeah, so they don't blow away.
yeah, don't blow away.
Okay.
Or make sure you get paid first, then they can blow away.
Okay.
All right. Okay then. Thank you very much. Bye
Thanks,
bye.
Steve. Bye,
Bye
everybody.
bye.